I'd like to call the meeting in order. Misty, would you call the roll, please?
Hal Glanville.
Here.
J.R. Huddleston.
Here.
Deborah Johnston.
Here.
Bill Luken.
Here.
Melissa Niles.
Here.
Travis Orbach.
Here.
Larry Pratt.
Here.
Linda Varvel.
Here.
Thank you.
Thank you. Would you join me in the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. As always, Council, if you have a conflict of interest on any item on the agenda, please let the Council know before you vote on that. Can I get a motion to approve an amended agenda? The first change is under Personnel. We'll be removing Personnel Action Item I for Jackie Waldner. She's going to be with us through the rest of the month, and then we'll see when her last effective day is. So we're going to remove that from tonight's agenda. The next change is to amend the current claims. We're going to reduce that amount from $228,931.46 to $228,920.09, and that comes about on page 8 from Wilson Electric. They charged us tax and they shouldn't have. So we reduced that amount to the $290.09 by $11.37 to bring that new amount to $278.72. So again, the current claims, the new amount will be $228,920.09. Did I get that right, Misty?
$228,920.09. Yep.
All right, thank you. So those are the two amendments to remove Personnel Item I and amend the current claims.
I'll make a motion to approve an amended agenda. Under Personnel, remove Item I and amend current claims on page 8, Wilson Electric, $270 to $278.72. That changes the current claims to $228,920.09.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor? Aye. Opposed? The motion passes. Can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the October 16th meeting?
I make a motion to approve the minutes from the October 16th council meeting. Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Motion to approve the bills in between, please.
Make a motion to approve the bills in between for $282,793.96.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. A motion to approve the amended amount for the current claims.
Make a motion to approve the amended amount for current claims to $228,920.09.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. A motion to approve the Wells Fargo credit card claims.
I make a motion to approve the Wells Fargo credit card claims in the amount of $7,783.67.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Brings us to communications from the public. Is there anyone who would like to address the council tonight? All right. We have a 7:10 public hearing. We're about 5 minutes away from that. So we'll move down the agenda a little bit and try to pick up some agenda items. Let's go ahead and move down to personnel. If I can get a motion to approve personnel actions A through L, remembering that we removed personnel action I.
Make a motion to approve personnel actions A through L, removing I, Jackie Wagner, part-time clubhouse attendant, last day 10/24/23.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. All right, so we'll jump back up. Tracy, council updates. Tracy, if you can start us out, remembering that when we get to 7:10, we'll ask you to take a pause.
Okay, well, I don't, test, are we on? Yes, okay. Good evening. Not sure if this is on or not, it doesn't.
Do you have him, Carl?
Doesn't sound very loud in here.
Any volume to it?
Says on,
There you go.
okay,
Public, can you hear him?
okay.
right.
All right, Deborah. Okay, so October has definitely been I'm going to have to eat this thing so that you can hear me. October has definitely been a month of progress on our big project through town. I was gone for several weeks, so it was kind of nice to come back and see some definite changes. One of the things that I'm pleased to note is that the city's part of replacing water valves all along the South Chicago Jensen Highway section of the project, that is now complete. So our people are a little bit more freed up to do some other projects and maintenance and things that we've been wanting to do for quite a while. The utility part of the project has started again, going north on North River Street. I think this started on the 16th of this past month. Right now they're working on the water main, and they're actually bringing it from the north to the south. They will meet up where they left off last winter. And of course, just as I was driving through there, I was thinking that all of us in the water department, pretty much everyone in the city, will breathe a sigh of relief when we know that 16-inch ductile iron pipe that was so badly deteriorated, all of it will be gone. So that is good progress on that. They will then follow up with the sewer main installation after the water main is taken care of. So it's a rather complicated area in there, not a lot of space to work, hence the one lane traffic with the light. That will continue for probably quite a while yet. We have updates every Tuesday as to where they feel they're at with the project. So are we at 7:10? Or
No.
No? Okay. All right. Paving, as you can tell, there's been concrete being poured today, pretty consistently along through the route. So probably over the next week or two, I think you're going to see a lot of functionality, a lot of areas that are going to be opened back up. And I think that will be really nice to have that full width of the street back, especially as we move into the winter season with snow and all of that sort of thing. Aside from that, the suspended sidewalk project you will see more activity on that coming up very soon. The a special saw was here on Friday, and they did do some preliminary cutting on the old railing. So I expect that they will be returning soon to start with that work. So that's pretty much the update. Any questions?
Somebody got 30 seconds worth of questions, public?
20 seconds? 15 seconds?
Don't be bashful.
I don't have very long to talk. Just a real quick question. If you'd get back to me, please, on the Hot Brook easement.
Yes.
see if we do have that easement there for that water.
Yeah, I was going to meet up with Sean, talk to him about it. He actually recently mapped that all out, where it's at, did a locate. So probably tomorrow or the next day, I will meet up with him, and then I'll have a much more clear picture of what we have going
If you
on.
touch base, please.
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
All right. So Councilman Huddleston's question just took us past our 7:10 public hearing. So we'll open the 7:10 public hearing, a hearing on the proposed amendment to Chapter 155 zoning code, creating a planned unit development numbered 155.032F2, titled PUD number 2 Martin Tracks, to the current list of City of Hot Springs zoning districts and amending the City of Hot Springs zoning map. With us tonight for council and the public, Tracy's here, our city engineer, Scott Sogi, our development coordinator, and Don and James with planning and zoning. So I think we've got the folks that are, offer their professional opinions on this with us for the council and the public. Is there anybody from the public that has anything they'd like to share with the council regarding this proposed planned unit development? Come on down, give us your name and address, and educate us.
My name is Deb Mangold. I live at 327 Meadowlark. I am the current I'm the director for the Property Owners Association. I've had the opportunity to visit with Mr. Martin, and we've had tremendous agreement, and there were 3 issues that we agreed upon as the sticking points. The first was that we very much want that property, even if it's rezoned, to stay in our Property Owners Association, and he could agree to that. The second was that our architectural committee would still have some advice to offer, and he is very amenable to that as well. His request was, we do not oppose those short lot lines, which we will not do. So we stand in agreement with Mr. Martin on this issue and ask you to approve it.
Thank you. Any questions for Deb? All right. Anyone else? Council? Any
Do we have
questions?
a project time frame for starting? Sure.
Hi, Council. I'm Chuck Martin. Live at 130, I don't live there, but I have an property address of 13077 Fall River Road. I own that property, and we're going to develop it at some point. Time frame. I look to break ground on at least one in probably March or April upon the approval. And then depending on how that goes, I want to set it up as either a model home and one being one complete duplex, so it'd be actually 2 units. Set that up as a model home and sell from that. If the pre-sales are good, then we'll go in with 5 of the units, 5 being, which is actually 10 units, which is a lower part. We'll go with those first, and then it just the upper part, the upper 5 units or 5 duplexes depends on sales. But I would hope to have at least the first 5 done by the end of next year.
Will they include landscaping?
I want to do a turnkey project, so it'll include landscaping, and everything will be included in our scope.
You pretty much got all that information on your maps, correct?
Yes, sir, I do.
So your landscaping, your electrical, everything it looks good to me.
Thank you.
And all of the is it Mockingbird that goes through there right now, that's gravel? Will that be paved?
We show that on our design as being paved to the extent of my property, yes.
Okay.
to the city codes.
Excellent. It's a beautiful plan.
Thank you, I appreciate that. We've worked really hard on it and really look forward to bringing it to Hot Springs.
Just appreciate all the information you've provided council, and also appreciate you working with Boulder Falls Property Owners Association.
Absolutely, they're a really good group once we got to know each other, and so yeah, there was no problem there. We want to build and conform to both Hot Springs and to what the homeowners out there want to see, so it's really a win for everybody.
Anyone else? So I wasn't able to attend the first public hearing that was scheduled. When I went back and watched the council meetings, I remember that Don had mentioned he had never seen a set of plans as comprehensive as these. So I want to thank you for that.
Absolutely.
It made it very easy for council to understand, the design of the project, and working with Scott to get the big prints. Looking at the small ones, when you get up to 70-year-old eyes, the big prints were sometimes tough to read also. So I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
The question that I have is in relation to the garden area. Who's going to be responsible for the upkeep and the maintenance of
The
that?
homeowners association will assume that once the whole property is turned over to them.
Okay.
And that's one reason we did not make it more of a park. We made it more of a garden, so it would be as easy as possible, and I'll provide power and hose bit to the property, so that could be maintained like that.
All right. Well, thank you for doing this. The community certainly needs these homes. I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Thank you. I love it out here.
Great.
Thanks a lot.
Anyone else? So I'd like to thank Scott, Tracy, James, and Don for working and the rest of the planning and zoning folks, and everyone else involved for putting this together. This is huge. This is exciting. And it couldn't happen at a better time. So thank you to everyone. All right, well, if there's no other questions, we'll cheat the time a little bit, and we'll say that we'll close the public hearing at 7:18. All right, Tracy, did you have anything else you wanted to add?
At least he said it out loud.
I don't really have anything else to add on the road project, but I will just chime in on my positive impression and approval of the Martin Tract. I reviewed the plans. I was paying especially close attention to the drainage planning, and as others have said, it's a very thorough set of plans, very well scoped out. There's really just nothing incomplete. It's very complete, and that is very nice to see. I've been with the city for quite a long time, and I've seen some other plans that have crossed my desk that were essentially almost like a napkin, the infamous drawing on the back of a napkin. And this is a huge improvement from that, and along with everyone else, definitely excited to see this going in. So it has my stamp of approval too, so I just wanted to convey that.
Thank you. All right, so we'll go on to our next council updates. Doug Wessel with Bros Engineering, the 2023 Bridge Inspection Report.
Yeah, good evening.
Good evening, Doug.
I am Doug Wessel with Bros Engineering. First of all, I'd like to thank you for selecting Bros Engineering to do your bridge inspections. There was one structure inspected this year. It was on Minikata Avenue. And as part of the bridge inspection work orders, we are required to come before the City Council and to give you a report on the condition of the structure. Now, the inspection report was in your meeting packet. And so I'm not going to be going through that page by page, all 25 pages with you. I'm going to kind of give you an inspection summary. Now, if you do have any specific questions that have any information contained in that report, don't hesitate to ask me, and we'll cover that. So getting started here, the one structure we did was structure number 24-290-029 on Minikata Avenue. It is a 64-foot single-span stringer-stringle bridge with a concrete deck at a 5-degree right-hand forward skew over Fall River. It was built in 1934, so it's 89 years old. So it's well into its useful life, so to speak. It's currently posted at 16 tons for a single unit and 23 tons for a combination vehicle. A single unit is basically defined as something on the same frame. Basically, you can think of like a UPS truck, a gravel truck, that'd be a single unit. A combination vehicle is if something has a hitch that you can separate. So that'd be a combination vehicle. The concrete deck is in poor condition with map cracking, scaling, and effervescence on the underside of the deck. It's prevalent throughout the bottom, which is not a new thing. We've seen this coming a long ways. The top of the deck is not visible because of the bituminous overlay, but we can only guess that that condition is not well up there as well. There also is some section loss in the top and bottom flanges of the steel stringers. Now, last year after our 2020 inspection cycle, we changed the inspection cycle from 24 months to 12 months, just due to the advanced deterioration. Now, one thing I can tell you, this council has been very proactive with this structure. In August of 2020, this city received a big bridge improvement grant, preservation grant. Basically, the preliminary engineering, preliminary engineering grant. The preliminary engineering is where you do the hydraulics to figure out the required structure size, and then you look at the different types. So basically, at the end of the preliminary engineering phase, the replacement structure has been selected. Now, that part of it has been completed, and then in March of 2023, the city was selected for a big replacement grant. So we are now currently underway in that design phase. The replacement structure is going to be a 69-foot, be 5 feet longer, single-span, pre-stressed concrete girder bridge at the same skew, 5 degrees right-hand forward. Now, the total estimated replacement cost right now is $2.1 million. Now, the grant will cover 80% of all eligible costs. So that's going to make the city responsible for 20% of the engineering, 20% of the construction, and then any kind of ineligible costs. The ineligible costs right now, we're looking at the bituminous roadway off the ends of the structures is what the city would be responsible for. So right now, our estimated, the city's all-in portion of this is going to be $588,000. Like I said, right now we're in the design phase, and we have an anticipated bid letting date of either July and August of 2024. Most likely, construction will happen then in 2025. So I guess with that, does anybody have any questions?
Not that you have a crystal ball, but 2025 sounds a long way away for a bridge in very poor condition.
It's in poor condition, but it's not in critical condition.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Doug, did you say construction will begin or be completed at the end of 2025?
With the way it'll happen, we'll bid it in July or August of '24, so that way through the winter time, the contractor can get his materials ordered. He'll come in early 2025, finish up by the end of 25.
Thank you.
So I have some questions for you.
Okay.
I believe it's your cover letter, page 1. Recommend monitoring the deck deterioration frequently. Can you kind of narrow down frequently for us?
Well, frequently is, I assume your city people drive over that on a routine basis. If all of a sudden they would see a big patch coming up or a hole in the deck, that would be indications that you've got more severe damage happening.
All right. And then on page 2, you were talking a little bit about it, the weight limits. I have highlighted here, the posting recommendation for the combined is 23 tons, but then in the right-hand column of that, the posting recommendation is 17 tons.
Okay, let me get to the same page you are. Okay, that's for the different special haul vehicles. You got the special haul 4, 5, 6, and 7.
Okay?
Okay, so the actual, for special haul unit, special unit 4 is actually 16. The rest of it would actually be 17. So you take the lowest number of that, and then that's what you post it for.
Okay.
And what is a special haul vehicle?
A special haul vehicle?
Yeah,
It's,
Like what would that be?
the federal highway made us start analyzing the structures for special haul vehicles probably about 6 to 8 years ago. And those are the ones that you'll see, like those trucks that have multiple axles that are really close together.
Okay,
Those are the special haul vehicles.
okay,
You know, so they're legal on the roads because they don't exceed a certain amount of axle weight. But on a bridge, weight is still weight.
okay.
On page 10 of your report, item number 2, talk about embankment erosion.
Okay?
There's minor erosion hole forming from drain pipe on the northwest side, remains a minor issue. Will that be addressed when the bridge is replaced? Or is there something we'll have to do?
Oh, no, that whole area will be replaced.
Replaced?
Yeah.
Okay. Got a lot of pictures here.
Well, pictures, you know like you say, pictures say 1,000 words.
Well, in this case, they say about 10,000 because it really looks bad.
And will that bridge essentially look the same as the one on Jennings?
Yes, it'd be very similar to that. That's also a pre-stressed girder bridge, yes.
Would there be any chance that the same railing could be reutilized on there or not?
The same railing
Yeah,
as
there's
on
a
Jennings.
there's a historical railing that's on Minnetonka.
That one we can discuss during the design phase. I can tell you, if you want to put let's say a fancier rail on there, that'd be at the city's expense for 100%.
Okay.
But if we wanted to keep and use a historic railing, would we receive a credit if it were allowed because we wouldn't be utilizing?
I mean, if you salvage the existing rail?
Yeah,
Yes.
I think that's the question.
Okay, well, if you salvage the rail, you would still have to pay for the contractor to remove it and then reinstall it. But that is an option that can be talked about.
Okay.
So to follow along that question, as I look at the spacing on the uprights for the railing, they appear to not be meet current standards as far as, the width between them so that someone can't get their head between them.
Yeah, the 4-inch requirement, 4-inch
Yeah.
spear requirement, yeah, that would have to be addressed either by, you put the chain link fence fabric behind it or something to somehow to meet that.
Okay.
And that would be an additional cost, whatever we would,
Yes.
okay. All right. That's my questions.
Okay?
Council, anyone else?
Thank you for keeping such a good eye on this
Okay, well,
for us.
well, thank you. So, all right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Doug.
Drive careful going home.
All right, thank you.
All right, so we move on to our ordinances. Our first in ordinance, item A. Can I get a motion on first reading of ordinance 1251, an ordinance revising Title 15, Land Usage, Chapter 155?
Make a motion to approve first reading ordinance 1251, an ordinance revising Title 15 Land Usage, Chapter 155, zoning code, adding 155.032F2, PUD number 2, Martin Tracks.
Second.
All right, so this is what we discussed in our public hearing. you second that, Larry?
Yes.
Thank you. Discussion? Any other questions, council? All right. Misty, would you call the roll, please?
Larry Pratt,
Yes.
Travis Orbach,
Yes.
Melissa Niles,
Yes.
Linda Varvel,
Yes.
Bill Lukens,
Yes.
Hal Glanville,
Yes.
J.R. Huddleston,
Yes.
Deborah Johnston.
Yes.
Thank you.
The motion passes. Congratulations, everyone.
Yay.
On to our next ordinance, ordinance item B, a second reading of ordinance 1249, an ordinance revising Title V of Public Works.
Make a motion to approve the second reading of ordinance 1249, an ordinance revising Title V Public Works, Chapter 51 Water, 51.02, Application for Water Service, 51.03, Service Sizes, Materials and Installation, 51.04, Service Line Connections, Terminations, 51.05, Water Meters, 51.06, Service Line Installation, 51.08, Water Rates and Billing, 51.09, After-Hours Service Calls, 51.12, Private and Public Fire Protection, and 51.99, Penalty.
Discussion?
Larry.
Linda.
I heard a female voice. I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. Got it, Larry.
You got it, Misty?
Yep.
Discussion? Would you call the roll, please?
Travis Orbach,
Yes.
Hal Glanville,
Yes.
J.R. Huddleston,
Yes.
Bill Lukens,
Yes.
Deborah Johnston,
Yes.
Linda Varvel,
Yes.
Larry Pratt,
Yes.
Melissa Niles.
Yes.
Thank you.
The motion passes. On to our last ordinance item of the night, C, second reading of ordinance 1250, an ordinance revising Title V Public Works.
I make a motion to approve the second reading ordinance of 1250, an ordinance revising Title V Public Works, Chapter 52 Wastewater and Storm Sewer, 52.03 Private Wastewater Disposal Septic Systems, 52.4 Sanitary Sewer, Connections and Fees, 52.08 Use of Public Sewers, 52.10 Fees and Collection, 52.11 Bills and Payments, 52.13 Termination, Remedies, and 52.99 Penalty.
Second.
Discussion? Misty, would you call the roll, please?
Deborah Johnston.
Yes.
J.R. Huddleston.
Yes.
Bill Lukens.
Yes.
Hal Glanville.
Yes.
Travis Orbach.
Yes.
Melissa Niles.
Yes.
Linda Varvel.
Yes.
Larry Pratt.
Yes.
Thank you.
The motion passes. On to new business. New business item A, approve the following 2024 liquor and retail wine renewal applications.
I make a motion to approve the following 2024 liquor and retail wine license renewal applications. American Legion Post 71, Big Time Pizza, Buffalo Dreamer Restaurant LLC, BW Gas and Convenience Retail LLC, doing business as Yesway, number 1177, CS Inc., doing business as Winter Circle, Dakota Mart Inc., doing business as Lynn's Dakota Mart, Dolgen Midwest LLC, doing business as Dollar General, store number 18181, Family Dollar Store of South Dakota LLC, number 7126, Frankie's Place LLC, Frog Project LLC, doing business as The Space, Hanging J LLC, doing business as Red Rock River Resort, HSP Loft Properties LLC, Misty River Tavern LLC, Sunny's Superfoods, Southern Hills Golf Course, Southern Hills Mercantile LLC, Springs Hotel LC, doing business as Springs Coffee Kiosk. Springs Restaurant, Stanwell LLC, doing business as Art House. The Kitchen Inc. LLC, and Woolies Western Grill.
Second.
Discussion.
That Misty River Tavern, I thought the name had changed.
Not on their liquor license.
Not on their liquor
It has to be their
license.
legal name there. They can do business as something else. but-
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yep.
Did you need to take a pause, Deborah?
I'm good.
All right. All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item B, set a public hearing on November 20th, 2023 at 7:10 PM.
Make a motion to set a public hearing on November 20, 2023 at 7:10 PM on the transfer application from Woolies Western Grill to Jalapeno Grill LLC for the on-sale liquor license to be used at 1648 Highway 18 bypass.
Second.
Melissa,
Melissa,
thank you.
discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. It takes us to new business item C. I'd like to recommend deleting a portion of that. Approve and accept a plan to assist the Hot Springs Area Pickleball Club in the cost $10,100. I would ask that you delete "and labor associated with" the repairs, and I'll explain when we get into the discussion why I'm asking you to do that. If you disagree with it, you can vote it down, and we can go back to the original wording. So if I could get a motion on new business item C.
Make a motion to approve and accept plans to assist the Hot Springs Area Pickleball Club in the cost, $10,100, with repairs associated with repairs of the Butler Park tennis and pickleball courts to be funded by parks improvements other than buildings. Budget authority previously budgeted for stair repairs.
Second.
Discussion. So a little background on this one. This expenditure, along with the expenditure that council's already approved for the electricity in the island across from Lynn's Dakota Mart, I think they got confused a little bit as far as the funding. The request from Pickleball, Jason spoke with us back in June about his desire to have council find current money to fund the repairs of the tennis courts for the pickleball, or add it to the 2023 budget. I neglected to add it for consideration in the 2023 budget, but I'd also talked with Jason about the fact that I thought we could find some money in the current parks budget for the $10,000. That would come from the items that were in improvements other than buildings were for stair repairs. They were for the Kidney Springs, replacing the columns on the gazebo, and also the walk repair, or the bridge repair by the waterfall. The stair repairs, it's going to take more than just repairs. It's going to take complete replacement of those sidewalks. So that left us money available in improvements other than parks. In improvements other than buildings. And looking at, which then would leave us about $10,000, it was actually about $13,000 after we purchased the columns. And council, we'd had that discussion, council had agreed that that would be a good direction to go. And then we ended up asking council to approve the $10,000 for the area across from Lynn's Dakota Mart. And there was a discussion, why are we funding that by future contingency when we had money in parks. Well, that area across from Lynn's Dakota was never intended to be a park. We gave it a placeholder name, we called it Welcome Park, but we were never proposing to add it to the parks system. So that cost necessarily wouldn't have come out of parks anyway. So we met with Jason today, Larry and Linda, Bart, Billy, and Lori to talk about Jason's plans for the pickleball. And I'm completely advocating for the city helping where we can. But that needs to be on our schedule, not the pickleball schedule. So the reason I asked you to remove and labor is if we, in my opinion, if we leave and labor here, we are obligating the city to the labor, and we may not be able to provide it when Jason needs it. Right now, the road project is our #1 priority. So by leaving and labor off, then the city can let Jason know when we're able to help him with that. And I hope I'm not misspeaking, Jason, when I say that was acceptable to you. And talking with Billy and the folks, there's no doubt in my mind that we'll be able to accomplish this, but if the world gets crazy with this road reconstruction project, I just don't want to guarantee him that the city will be there to help. I don't see why we wouldn't be able to. Yep. Yep. So that's the reason I asked to remove and labor. Any other questions from council? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item D, an automatic budget supplement.
I make a motion to approve the automatic budget supplement of $21,864 to the liquor, lodging, and dining building repairs and maintenance 211-21100-42520 for the depot roof replacement. Revenue received from the South Dakota PAA claim number GC 202-110-7374.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item E, approve transfer of the following property to the general fund.
Make a motion to approve transfer of the following property to the general fund, Parks Department 101, Ryan GA30 aerator number 1792, and Ryan GA aerator number 1060 from Golf Course Fund 620.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item F, approve and accept an offer of $515 from Christine Colburn.
I make a motion to approve and accept offer of $515 from Christine Colburn for the 2023 Southern Hills Golf Course Pine and Cedar Firewood Pile.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item G, a travel training request from Finance Officer Misty Summers Walton.
Make a motion to approve travel training request from Finance Officer Misty Summers Walton and Assistant Finance Officer Ariel Bachman to attend BHA FOA meeting in Belle Fourche, South Dakota on 12/6/23.
Second.
Discussion?
That is if we're welcome there after taking their city administrator. They invited us last time we saw them.
Just call if you need us to come up, okay?
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. New business item H, a travel training request for Police Officer Matthew Wendland.
Make a motion to approve travel training request for Police Officer Matthew Wendland to attend the 13-week law enforcement certification class in Pierce, South Dakota from 11/27/23 through 3/1/24. Please note, officer is third on the wait list for the 11/27 class, and dropouts are expected.
Second.
Discussion? My question for you, Misty, is this is for November of this year, but if there aren't any dropouts, then he would be into the March class. We wouldn't need to bring this training request back for the March class, would we?
I would think at that time you would want to refresh your knowledge of who's going to be here and who's not. And that March class would be a different budget. It'd start in 2024.
Right, yes.
But I can't imagine this council not approving an uncertified law enforcement officer who's required within so many months of being hired to get certified to not go to a training class.
Okay. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. On to our committee reports. Our first committee report, Administrative and Finance. JR, Melissa?
The Admin Finance met today at 1 o'clock here at the Mueller Civic Center. In attendance were Mayor Bob Nelson, Finance Officer Mr. Summers Walton, Alderwoman Deb Johnston, Alderman Hal Glanville, Co-Chair Alderwoman Melissa Niles, and Chair J.R. Huddleston. Old business number 1, additional costs related to water, wastewater replacement road project, ongoing review and discussions necessary. Mid-year internal operating transfer will be on the 11/20 council agenda. We have not had any additional draw requests, and the budgeted water, wastewater operating fund transfers will be on the 11/20 council agenda. Number 2, continued discussion regarding selling land the city owns. Item A, 4.14 acres adjacent to Simon Quarry near Evergreen Cemetery, general government surplus. Mayor Nelson reported that Jake Hepp of Simons will be here next week to discuss. Item B, 7+ acres north of Hayden's property in Hot Brook Canyon water replat and only offer for buildable piece for sale, secure water line easement surplus. Tracy was to get back with us on that. I reminded him tonight. There's nothing to report. Item C, 100+ acres near the Hot Brook Canyon pump station. Water, not the meadow area. There's been no movement on this, and we are in agreement to remove it from the agenda. Item 3, review, discuss proposed changes, additions to the City of Hot Springs personnel policy, clothing, TikTok, paid night differential, overtime clarifications, exempt employees' use of leave, flexible work arrangements, remote work, travel expenses, work on holiday clarification, and return of city property, and City of Hot Springs Safety Manual clarifying PPE standards and per diem rates. No change in per diem rates. Council will receive proposed changes to these policies on 11/20 as an information only. New business, South Dakota DOT loan request, review plans and figures. We have 6, and correct me if I'm wrong when I'm done here, Misty. We have $684,000 before any draws. Current cash balance is in the 501 fund. Misty is working with 2 DOT staffers before any draws. Correct?
Yes.
I'm all right. Whew. Number 2, PD background checks, process, costs, and reasons. Discuss with Chief Norton at Public Safety, and Chief is to discuss with the Sheriff, with Sheriff Norton. Number 3, Mayor Nelson per diem rates and other items. Mayor to discuss per diem rates, personnel policies, job descriptions, and other topics with the new city administrator. Item 4, review monthly finance officer reports. Mr. reviewed with the committee. 5 committee member items were none. We adjourned at 2 p.m. Next meeting is 12/4/23 at 1 p.m. Mueller Civic Center. If you will change my error on the time that we adjourned on your copy.
Melissa, anything you'd like to add?
Nope, that was very thorough.
Council have any questions for JR or Melissa? Thank you. Airport Advisory, Bill?
Airport Advisory met Thursday, November 2nd, 8:30 a.m. at the airport. Members present were Shane Miller, Gary Telkamp, Mark Boxbaum, and Petra Wilson. Employees present were Ivan Venner and Tracy Bastian. Elected officials present were Mayor Nelson and myself. Airport tenants present were Ray Campbell from Southern Hills Aviation. There were no members of the public. Charlie Baker from KLJ Engineering was also present. T-hanger update, the concrete is complete and strength has been reached. The grading is in process and we're just now waiting for steel erection and electrical installation, which they hope to happen in November of this year. Monthly fuel sales, we sold 1,380 gallons of fuel in October. We had an estimated 60 fixed wing operations, 5 balloon launches, and 2 landings. Under airport observations, the terminal building and grounds look great. Under new business, we had a final T-hanger rental fee discussion. The fees recommended in the June meeting were reviewed, and that recommendation was reconfirmed. Once the aprons are paved next year, the rates will be reassessed. Based on the input that we received from our insurer, we talked about the terminal building shower. The benefits and concerns of that proposal were discussed, and the proposal was unanimously dropped. Thank you, Misty, for that input. We discussed a potential commercial opportunity by the installation of inclement weather shelters. The viability of these structures were discussed and would be allowed with proper contractual constraints within the commercial development area of the airport. This discussion progressed to a discussion of the needs of the AWAS 3. Based on that, the capital improvement plan will be reviewed during the January meeting to determine if any recommended changes on priorities are warranted. Meeting adjourned at 9:58 a.m. and our next meeting will be Thursday, December 7th, 8:30 a.m. at the airport.
And Bill, will the airport engineer be involved in that January capital improvement plan?
Yeah, that's why we've bumped it to January, because he's not available for December.
Perfect, thank you.
Any questions for Bill?
Yeah. Bill, when we were out there for that, those short takeoffs and landings, and you took us for a tour, and they said that that rest of that concrete was going to be poured in a day. Did he do it in a day?
No, that was a misstatement. It was actually done in half a day.
Wow. Oh my gosh.
You guys dropped the shower thing then?
Yes, we dropped that. Yeah, the day they poured the concrete, you couldn't get concrete poured anywhere else in town. They brought in like 5 trucks from Rapid, and they had trucks lined up starting at 5 a.m. and by noon they were done pouring concrete and were finishing the surface.
Wow.
And nothing failed. They poured extra cylinders so they could start testing early to make sure that we made strength, and it all passed. It's all good. They got the preliminary site grading done so that the erection team can get in and start putting steel up as soon as the crew gets on site.
Amazing.
The building is on site already.
Awesome.
Thank you, sir.
What does the acronym AWOS stand for?
Automated weather something system.
Observation system.
Thank you.
And once that gets in, not only will people that need to file a flight plan be able to fly in to Hot Springs because we already have GPS approach, but the Rapid City weather stations can then report Hot Springs weather.
Oh,
Because right now, you'll see Custer weather because they have AWOS. You see Pine Ridge weather because they have AWOS 3. You see Shadron weather because they have AWOS 3. So right now, when you see Hot Springs weather, it's typically an average of Custer to Pine Ridge or Custer to Shadron because we do not have real-time reporting of our weather. So it will... What we were informed is we don't know what is not coming to Hot Springs because we don't have AWOS 3. Because aircraft that are required to file a flight plan because they have to have instrumented landing cannot fly into our airport. The governor cannot fly into our airport. So it is... we don't know what we're missing out on by not having it. So it's an important investment for us.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. Custer Fall River Regional Waste Management, Travis?
The Custer Fall River Regional Waste Management District meeting has been moved from this Thursday, November 9th, to this Wednesday, November 8th, at 7 o'clock at the Fall River County South Annex Building.
They're going to be warm? They're going to be warm? They were cold before.
That's the message I received from Starla.
You said the 8th, right?
Correct, Wednesday the 8th at 7 o'clock.
At the annex. Okay.
Thank you.
I'll meet you over there so I can.
Historic Preservation, Deborah?
This month's meeting was canceled, and our next one will be December 6th, 5 p.m. here at the Mueller Center.
Thank you. Evans Plunge Advisory, Linda?
Our next meeting is scheduled for Thursday on the 9th at noon at the Plunge.
Thank you. Parks Recreation, Larry, Linda?
I'm going to let Linda read it tonight.
Okay, y'all ready? Parks and Rec met on November 1st at 2 p.m. at the Mueller Civic Center. In attendance were employees Chris Katke, Gabby Martin, Ross Norton. Elected officials were Mayor Bob Nelson, Deb Johnston, Larry Pratt, Linda Varvel. Public were Mr. and Mrs. Sheldon. We had cemetery and parks updates with ongoing maintenance, mowing, winterizing of bathrooms and sprinkler systems, excessive water flow at the cemetery coming from Simons, clogging the culverts with gravel that needs to be flushed out when that gets plugged. Lori will talk to Francis to solve the problem. The Mueller Center, Chris Katke, business as usual. Upcoming events is the holiday shopping extravaganza. The pickleball people tape the courts for their use. High school gymnastics are starting today, November 6th. I saw them moving in equipment today. And the roofing issue is still on hold. We had a recreation update from Gabby. Adult pickleball started November 4th with 12 people signed up. Youth pickleball is lined up, as is indoor soccer at the Bison Center. New business, we had Mr. and Mrs. Sheldon came to inform us of what's going on with the Connor Sheldon All-Inclusive Memorial Playground update. They received their nonprofit status from the state under Connor Sheldon Memorial, Inc., had their first board meeting, And they have bands booked for their silent auction, dinner, and dance on March 23rd. And they're having a benefit concert scheduled for June 15th at the Mueller Center, with the bands are booked. An Indian taco fundraiser provided by Stars No Kill Shelter, the date and location to be determined. The Connor Sheldon Memorial Night with the Rush Hockey, December 9th. Waiting on link from Alex with the Rush front office. $7 per ticket sold will go to the playground. She's working with Dusty Pence on a fundraiser with Music in the Park in September. Working with Corey Sevening with Churchich Recreation LLC on the playground equipment. They are the contact for Miracle Playground equipment and seem very eager to help with the playground and maybe some discount on the price. They got $58 from Baumgar's fundraising can, and they are in the process of putting out donation containers at the grocery stores. They're working on their 501c3 and getting ready to start applying for grants. Members of Connor Memorial Inc. are talking to a construction company in Rapid to see if they will donate some of their services to help put the equipment in place. Also talking to the School of Mines with help with the design of the playground. November 13th fundraiser from the American Legion, $1,000 from the Rocky Mountain Oyster Feed is what they got. And then along the truck bypass, we discussed the Point of Interest project for the Seven Sisters Mountain Range. It has been referred to the Historical Society to seek out correct information for a plaque to be installed near the upper end of the bypass to ensure a panoramic view of the entire range. We had an update from the Keep Hot Springs Beautiful. Says, we reported at your last meeting, February 3rd, of the pods at University were released to us by South Dakota DOT. The city crew dropped off boulders, and last week a group of volunteers planted and mulched the pods. More plants will be added in the spring, but it's a great start to see some life back on that corner. As far as we know, no other pods will be released this fall for planting. If any are released over the winter, we will amend the soil and place boulders in them so they are ready for spring planting. This Saturday on the 4th of November, Christmas lights were placed in Centennial Park from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Last year, we had almost 30 volunteers from the community show up to help hang them, which was awesome. We play Christmas music and provide cookies and cocoa for the volunteers. It's always a fun time. If you know anyone who would like to join in on the fun, this is our last event until March. Under old business, we discussed the tree grant. Misty resubmitted because more information was requested. Grant states for every tree removed, 2 will be planted to replace it. The safety issue identified with a few dead trees within the areas designated. And if you have any other comments, Misty, I'll...
Yes, please.
Nope, that was perfect.
That was perfect. Okay, we had a public comment from Deb Johnston questioning the Keep Hot Springs Beautiful being charged for the use of the Mueller Center. And she strongly encouraged council members to become dues-paying members to show their support. The next meeting will be December 6th, 2 p.m. at the Mueller Civic Center, and we adjourned at 2:36 p.m.
I'm sorry, could you give me that next meeting date one more time?
December 6th.
Thank you.
Larry, anything you'd like to add?
Yeah, on the construction company, she had talked to me after the meeting. The one that, not the name of the one, but the other one, she has 2 others, and she'd like to see which one is willing to do, the volunteer work to help out to put the playground up. So they have 3 options on that.
Okay.
Pretty much it, yeah.
And also, I think they said they did receive their 501c3 status, if I recall correctly. I don't know if anyone else remembers that or not.
I'm just going by the notes that she gave me.
Okay,
They got their,
because I thought she said they did get it, but I could be wrong.
Any questions for Linda or Larry?
Hey, Linda, the list of trees for the grant, I mean, when they plant those trees, what size are they putting in there?
There are requirements from the grantor of the size that they have to be. And I think we identified 3 to 6 trees that are coming out. And the replanted trees do not have to be in the same location. At this point, it's just a proposal to see if we can get accepted for the grant. We trim it up as the tree service that went through and identified each tree in each park that needed pruned or was dead, damaged, and a dangerous tree and needed removed. If we are approved the grant, we still have to go through the request for proposals that we have to go through with all other large projects. We're hoping for 100,000, so
I was going to say, some of the, if you're going to replace a full-size tree, they're pretty spendy.
they are. They're
Very expensive.
Linda
They're
called
very
me when we
expensive.
went through the
Very
proposal.
expensive.
We had gotten quotes from 3 different nurseries, and the larger sized trees are very spendy.
Okay. So are you talking deciduous and evergreen, or?
Yes, we have a list
Oh,
of
okay.
different species that our community tree forester recommends for our area.
Okay. Thanks.
You had that all in the proposal. Maybe if you sent that to him, he
I'd be
could look
happy
at
to,
it.
but it's not final. It's just
Oh,
a
it's not
proposal.
final.
It's-
I just think it'd be
Just a
interesting
proposal,
just
but
to
the
see the list.
information.
Oh, sorry, Larry. I was going to say, it's interesting kind of just to see the list of what they're suggesting to put in.
I think with most grants, it's 1.5 inch diameter.
I think these are a little bit larger.
Right.
Yeah, 1.5 inch is not very big. When you're replacing a park tree.
Yeah. I'll actually send you the link to the grant requirements because my proposal doesn't have all those details, but the grant requirements do.
Okay. Thanks.
Any other questions? Thank you. Planning and zoning, Deborah?
They meet this November 15th, Wednesday, 6 PM at City Hall.
Thank you. Public safety, Bill, JR?
Okay, Public Safety met Thursday, November 2nd, 2 PM here at the Mueller Center. Present from council were JR, Deborah, myself, Mayor Nelson. Also present were Chief Norton, Gary Baker, Assistant Emergency Manager, Renee Staley from Fall River Health, Compliance Manager. There were no members of the public. Chief Norton provided an update from the PD. We've already talked about Officer Wendland's hope to go to the LET in November. Officer Deneke has completed the A-RIDE training, and that's one of the requests we approved a couple meetings back on DUI and impaired driving. She's on the wait list to go to the Train the Trainer class for similar type training. Thanks to, I think, the latest hailstorm, 2 of our older PD vehicles, the 2016 Charger and the 2014 Explorer, have been considered totaled. Both vehicles are fully functional, it's just the body damage caused them to be totaled. Under old business, we reviewed our outstanding traffic signage requests. We also continued to talk about the background checks for various situations. According to Chief Norton, employment-related checks are allowed, and he doesn't believe that there is a fee associated with that, but I think he's going to follow up on that. There was no update on the mitigation grant preparation. Under new business, we had a non-conclusive discussion regarding the feral cat issue in town. We also discussed the traffic safety issues in the Summit Road, Happy Hollow area. We asked the chief to review this area and other areas in the city where the standard 25-mile-an-hour speed limit may be too high and should be reduced. and also to look at the consistency of traffic control markings at the various intersections. We also had a non-conclusive discussion regarding family daycare licensing compliance and compliance verification. Meeting adjourned at 3 p.m. and our next meeting will be Thursday, December 7th, 2 p.m. here at the Mueller Center.
JR, anything you'd like to add?
No, you did good. Good job, Bill.
Any questions for Bill or JR?
Hey, Bill, what's the employment checks? Is that for city employees or?
Yes.
Okay, so you guys were talking about just all city employees?
Yeah, the background checks, so it came out of admin finance, so.
Oh.
Yeah, recently we discovered a different opinion on whether or not our police department could complete background checks for the city. Some of the areas we identified background checks may be appropriate would be post-offer pre-employment, daycare licensing, cannabis licensing, and alcoholic beverage licensing. Previously, we were told they couldn't, and so now we're exploring some opportunities where the police may be able to do that for us in those instances.
Okay, so instead of putting it out to a third party to do the check, we would just have it in-house with the police?
We've never put it, as far as I've been here, we've never put it out to a third party. So pre-employment, post-offer background checks were only done on police officers as required by statute. And we just have applicants sign an affidavit under penalties of perjury that they have not had any felonies if they're applying for liquor licenses or any other issues for the other licenses.
Okay, thanks.
And we're not ready to move forward on that, we're still discussing it, correct? Just wanting to make sure that we do it right, because you can't pick and choose who you do it to. You've got to be careful with any information that you obtain when doing it, and it should be fairly and consistently applied if we decide to move forward, so.
Correct.
I was just thinking about the school district. You know, everyone gets a background check there, so I don't know if it was going to be similar.
Yeah.
Any other questions? Thank you, gentlemen. Public Works, Bill, Hal?
Okay. Well, Public Works met on Tuesday, October 31st, 1 p.m. at the Mueller Center. Present were Hal Glanville, myself, Mayor Nelson, Melissa Niles, Tracy Bastian. We had no members of the public. Under new business, we talked about staining of sidewalk transition areas along the 385 road reconstruction route. The committee discussed the benefits and concerns of the project-wide staining or painting versus no action of sidewalk transition areas. It was determined that project-wide marking of the transition areas was not appropriate, and that only individual portions would be considered for marking if it is actually determined that it's necessary and beneficial. Secondly, we took a look at Title 5, Chapter 50.02, Solid Waste, regarding some proposed revisions, and those comments were forwarded back to the Finance Office. Taking a look at our 30-day look ahead, most everything is focused around the road reconstruction. And if you're interested in the active and inactive project information, that information can be found on the current Public Works report on the city website. Meeting adjourned at 2:44. Our next meeting will be Tuesday, November 14th, 1 p.m. here at the Mueller Center.
I'm sorry, I didn't get the next meeting date.
14th,
Got it, thank you.
Dad's birthday. But he's gone, so he won't be there.
Mine's the next
mean,
day,
he's
and
really
I won't be
gone.
there either.
Hal, anything you'd like to add?
No, thank you.
Any questions for Hal or Bill? Thank you, gentlemen. Southern Hills Golf Course will meet next Monday, 5 p.m. I'm not sure whether it's going to be at City Hall or whether that will be at the clubhouse. It'll be next Monday, 5 p.m. Brings us to Finance Officer report.
Thanks,
Misty?
Mayor. Attached to the memo, the financial reports are through the end of October. year-to-date profit loss summary, fund summary report, cash balance report, and investment reports. We did receive notification the South Dakota Department of Labor released the state minimum wage to be effective January 1, 2024. The increase will be 40 cents. So the new state minimum wage amount is going from $10.80 to $11.20. Federal minimum wage remains unchanged at $7.25. We'll have a motion in December to approve the increases. As we've done in the past, we'll propose equivalent increases for all of our seasonal and part-time positions. You may recall we budgeted 85 cents for the increase, so we should have sufficient budget authority in 2024 for the mandated increases. I recently completed the annual unclaimed property report. Once again, we were able to report a negative report, which means we had no items to submit. We first came into compliance with this law in 2017, and since then we've had minimal submissions. I do currently have one check from 2021 that will need to be reported in 2024, but our goal is to get the money in the hands of the rightful owners and not return it to the state as unclaimed property. A review of the fund summary budget to actual report will show you the funds that are currently over 100% in year-to-date budget expenditures. If you're interested in reviewing budget expenditure worksheets by department, they're emailed out each month to those council members who have expressed interest and are available to any others upon request. In our general fund, we have 26 departments, so to look at that from a fund level doesn't really give you a very good picture of how different departments within the general fund are functioning with their budget throughout the year. So if interested, I do recommend that you look at those additional reports. It's easy enough to email them out to you, as I do to the other council members that have requested it. As a reminder, there's a South Dakota codified law that states in part, neither the governing body nor any department or officer of the municipality shall add to the municipal expenditures in any fiscal year any sum in excess of the amount provided for in the annual appropriation ordinance. In order to ensure we're compliant with statute, I've begun working on the second and final supplemental appropriation ordinance for 2023 and the last contingency transfer resolution. Our current contingency balance is $59,550, and this is before the posting of the two previously approved contingency expenditures, the $10,854 for the Welcome Park electricity installation, and $14,950 to revise for our new website. So the total will be $33,746 available in contingency after those. The last couple months of the year are critical for budgetary reviews and controls. I have reached out to all department heads requesting information regarding any remaining budget additions necessary prior to year end. The second and final 2023 appropriation ordinance will also have the estimates for our internal water and sewer charges and subsequent forgiveness, so it'll be a big one. As a result of our ongoing review of the Water and Wastewater Fund financials, it's been determined that both funds are able to transfer the budgeted operating transfers for 2023. So at the second meeting in November, you'll be asked to approve those transfers, $125,000 from water, $125,000 from wastewater to the general fund for a total of $250,000. I'm so excited to be welcoming a new city administrator this month. This valuable position serves such an important role and has been greatly missed. As stated in the job description, the city administrator assumes full responsibility for planning, directing, overseeing, and evaluating the activities and operations of the entire city, providing policy guidance and complex administrative support to staff, committees, and council, as well as responding in emergency management situations. Although we have a strong city staff, some with decades of experience, that do their jobs well, we need that piece that bridges the communication between those that do those jobs and those that make the decisions. I'm excited to welcome someone with such experience in South Dakota municipal government. It'll surely be a positive for our council, employees, and community. We did receive notification that the governor authorized administrative leave days on Friday, November 22nd and Tuesday, December 26th. Our city follows the state, so I have shared this information with our department heads and council. I'm personally grateful for the additional time to spend with family and want to thank our governor and our city leadership for authorizing the additional days off. That's all I have. If you have any questions, they're welcome.
Okay, 22nd or 24th?
Sorry?
You say 22nd or 24th?
24th.
Friday, the 24th.
You said
for the
22nd.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. I think it says 24th on here. Did I just read
You
it
said
wrong?
20 You said 22nd.
Whoops.
Too late. It's
Thank you,
22nd.
Larry.
Any other questions for Misty? Thank you, Misty. I don't have anything for you tonight. That'll bring us to executive session. If you get a motion to go into executive session.
Make a motion, we go into executive session in accordance with South Dakota Codified Law 1-25-2, 3, legal.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. There will be a brief pause before we get into executive session, and there will be no actions taken after executive session.
Go Bison. Our time on South Dakota Public Broadcasting at sdpb.com. Go Bison, root for local boys. Champs to be state champs.
Do you have what time we're back, Misty?
Our clocks are a little different, so if you,
I'm showing 8:45.
thank you.
Can I get a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The motion passes. Have a good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Go Bison.